Put your hands together for Justin.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to spend the next half an hour with you and certainly some more time this afternoon to discuss the practical ways that you can start using artificial intelligence in your business. Right, that's a great way to start. I had the privilege of speaking at the ADNZ conference last year, the FM conference. We did a series with master builders. We're expanding our collaboration through the construction sector with the NZIOB. We're really pleased and excited to spend time to talk about the practical use cases. Where is AI going to add value into your business across the sector so that we can help facilitate solutions and increase AI adoption? In the next 10 to 20 years, much of the supply chain from design to engineering to construction is going to become automated. We are seeing companies right across that supply chain wanting to become technology companies. And this mind shift is going to create a huge challenge and a massive opportunity for all of you in the sector. Today, I want to start by giving you some practical advice and start that conversation around how do we enable artificial intelligence across our organisations? How do we get started? What are some of the things that we can do? Some of it's fun, some of it's super practical, and I hope this starts, the spark within you and your people to be thinking internally around how you're going to be leveraging artificial intelligence. It's 2025, and I think it's bloody remarkable that all of us, everyone in the world, can walk around with a know-it-all digital assistant in their pocket for free. In 3 years, if we think back to when OpenAI launched ChatGPT 3.5, or it's November 22, right? This is happening at a rapid rate of knots. AI tech is 10xing every 6 months. And so that's why we have companies coming to us for independent advice to help you figure out the use cases and to identify the solutions and what that means from a governance and operational perspective. AI can automate tasks and processes, create content 1,000 times faster than any of us, and it can produce things like this.
A feeling beyond touch. Colours you can feel. A mood that lifts yours, soothes the soul. It breathes and leaves you breathless. It's of the earth, yet out of this world. It's more than the feel. It's a feeling crafted, feels different.
One of the first TVCs in New Zealand, 100% produced with artificial intelligence. If you've seen the Skinny Mobile ad, they've digitally cloned one of their customers, Liz, and they've used a product called HeyGen to create that digital clone, that digital avatar that they're going to be able to use for all sorts of different campaigns and content over the next sort of while. So in 2022, as I mentioned, AI woke up. We had this paradigm shift between structured data and unstructured data. When we were building chatbots, and with corporates were building chatbots back in 2017, 18, 19, before AI was cool, it was spreadsheets with if this, then that. If this keyword, if this topic comes up, give them this information. And now with generative AI and large language models, we can literally dump text files, audio, videos, spreadsheets, whatever form of content into a folder and generate a chatbot that we can have conversations with that library of information. So now it's time to put AI to work for you, for your businesses. If you are not on this journey developing an AI roadmap and thinking about how it's going to impact the way you work and the way your company and your sector operates, you are well behind. So we've all started a task looking at one of these, haven't we? Right. What do I do now? So productivity takes a massive hit, right? When we have to spend time going and curating the information that we need to get a task done. Typically, finding information might have been asking a colleague, what happened with this account? Where's this project at? What's going on over here? Asking an industry advisor or a consultant, which might take time or a lot of money to get a report back, or of course, searching Google. And this is what I call fluffing around at work. Right, so today marks the end of this fluffing around. No more bullshit. This is all about productivity and getting stuff done. While it's about curating information, it's all about enriching the data that we've got. I'm going to play a little video. This is Robert Scoble and what's her name? Anna Monaco, that's right, for a platform called Paradigm. Now, this was launched late last year, and it was a real aha moment for me to think about how tools are being developed in an AI-first mentality.
We're seeing a new kind of spreadsheet.
So I think that AI is not only changing the small parts of how people do things, but actually changing the entire user experience of how they're using certain tools. So Google Sheets and Excel, these are tools that were built pre-AI, really. They were built for workflows that are just do not need to exist anymore. So let's say you have some existing data, right? Yeah. Paradigm, normal spreadsheet, they have column headers that define what information is every single column. Paradigm also has column prompts. For example, some are very simple, like for CEO, founder name, it's just find the name of the company or CEO or founder. And what will happen is we can add a row and we can paste in some data that we have. Yep. What you can do with Paradigm is you can select on the cells that you want to generate and you click enrich. And what you'll see is very quickly, the information that you need is populating in. And the interesting thing about this is...
That's cool. All right.
Paradigm.
So auto-fill in your spreadsheet.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't have enough data over there. Let's
all right,
get
so
a couple more columns.
There are certain tasks and processes that just don't need to be done anymore. And we need to identify what they are and strip them out to free people up to do the more meaningful work. There is also certain tasks that you just wouldn't bother doing because they take far too much time and cost too much money to do it. As an example, it might be, enriching your spreadsheet with, tons of data fields that are actually going to be really rich and rewarding to inform your decision making, but just take time to go through and manually scrape it. And so there are tools now like Paradigm will help you do this. And certainly from a sales and marketing perspective, it's a fantastic tool. I use it all the time, right? And so it might just be that task is far too time-consuming. So as mentioned, that search for knowledge can go from asking a colleague to asking an industry expert or a consultant or searching Google. And this whole concept of searching Google for something just seems completely archaic when we're told that there are 23 million pages that we have to go through to find an answer. I mean, no one's going to be doing that, right? And so this manual process of you going through the first few pages of Google trying to find, you're just manually curating the information that you need to get a job done, to get started on a project, is now becoming completely automated. We've got these answer engines, these AI assistants like ChatGPT and Perplexity and Claude and Copilot and any number of them now that are creating this blended search result back to you, right? And you're giving it the context, the task, and the context that you want that information for. It's going away and synthesizing all of the publicly available information that's out there on the web against all of its training data. And these prediction engines are getting remarkably good. They know what the next word in the sentence is based on all of this content that they've been trained on. So you can go and ask any one of these tools pretty much any question you like, and I guarantee it'll give you a better answer than any one of us could come up with. And I think that is remarkable. Deep research tool functionality and tools like, well, actually all of them now have got deep research functionality at PhD level. It takes time for them to get their responses back to you, but the capability of research now is remarkable. The accuracy is very high. Make sure you qualify it. It does come down to a little bit of prompt crafting that you're doing. But it's getting extremely good. Has anyone tried Notebook LM? Excellent. A tool, not a foundation model platform, kind of like these as such, but a really good. We'll talk a little bit more. Actually, I've got a good use case for that coming up. Right. So we want to get started by automating that tedious, repetitive stuff, those tasks which just don't need to be done anymore. And there are 4 kind of really key buckets that we're seeing companies lean into around this. First of all is making knowledge instantly accessible. It's search. Now, if you're just using AI tools at advanced search, it's like poking an elephant with a needle, right? You're just scratching the surface. But it does help you get answers much, much faster. Now, of course, ChatGPT is the world's greatest consultant that knows nothing about your business. So we want to be able to make that same functionality that we get from public search with those large language models, we want that to make that available for our own businesses, our own domain knowledge, our own company data. That's one thing. We'll talk more about that. And then we want to be able to serve that up. We want to be able to deliver that to customers, partners, suppliers, employees in ways that are useful and meaningful to them when they need it. We can use AI to create content, whether that's videos like I'll show you, whether it's radio ads, whether it's creating chatbots, whether it's writing resource consent applications or RFIs or job applications, or even dumping in a whole lot of CVs that you've received for a job into a tool to create a shortlist for you, and then also write the emails back to people that don't meet the criteria. And then we want to enhance our business with artificial intelligence. And this, we'll talk a little bit more about this, where we want a generative AI layer that's sitting right across your tech stack. And we'll talk more about the disparate data sets that you all have within your business and how we can use enterprise-grade generative AI tools to start creating blended search results and insights from across those data points. And I've certainly been talking to people today and last night that are here that are already working on these types of solutions. 2025 has been touted as the year of AI agents. Little apps that are connected to your data, being given a specific process or workflow, and are connected to some kind of AI tool, a large language model, perhaps. And these tools are starting to automate previously manual tasks. When we start extrapolating that out, IT teams are going to start becoming the HR departments for swathes of AI agents that are automating multiple steps within your workforce, more agentic workflow. There are low-code, no-code AI agent app builders there now, which are connecting different data sources together. That might be even on-prem databases through to, I think there are challenges with some of the machinery OEM data connections, certainly with our work with the Aggregate and Quarry Association and things like that. There's challenges in there from a machinery standpoint, but we're starting to build this capability, and the integration and having API integrations and provisioning those seamlessly is going to be a real opportunity, but a challenge at the moment for some things. So as an example, you might have an AI agent that's monitoring your accounts receivable inbox. Now, that inbox could have all sorts of spam and rubbish, and the emails coming in are going to have lots of different attachments. They're images and text files, and of course, probably a PDF or a Word document with your invoice. The AI agent identifies the right file, pushes it into Xero, uses an OCR process to extrapolate out the data from the invoice that it needs to populate into Xero, recognises that it's a new supplier, and so it triggers a human-in-the-loop process to verify and approve that before scheduling them for payment. One really basic, simple little tool. And so making knowledge instantly accessible with large language models is one of the ways that we can supercharge productivity. And AI trained on your data is where we want you to get to. We want you to get to that in a safe environment with bringing the data or bringing the AI into your tenancy. We don't want people uploading stuff into ChatGPT. We're going to have IP leakage and all sorts of things like that. So we can certainly talk about tool selection and those sorts of things. You got lots of data in your business, right? From project plans to HR and people management and scheduling to designs, data coming in from machinery or facilities and different sensors perhaps, and then project planning. And these might be different disparate data sets of storage and locations where they all are. And we want to wrap them round and integrate them into an AI platform so that you can start triggering those workflows, those workflow automations and building AI agents that are able to tap into those data sources for optimization. We want to find the practical use cases. And so one of the companies that we've been working with this year has a property maintenance business. They've got lots of contractors that are out there going around servicing, doing things at the properties they manage. But they also have a lot of job codes that those contractors have to remember to put on their paperwork. And of course, if they get it wrong, that creates a hell of a lot of back office admin fixing all of that stuff up. So we're going to be creating a chatbot. It's actually going to be integrated into WhatsApp because that's what all their contractors already use. And we're going to have probably in SharePoint or our centralized space will be documents with all of the different job codes and little text descriptions about each one, and also some workflow around health and safety and best practice to make sure that we're prompting the contractors to make sure that they're doing things in the right way and in a safe way. We might also be producing a lot of content, video content. Might be employee onboarding, health and safety training. And every time you want to produce a new video, traditionally someone's got to get up and stand in front of a camera with a teleprompter, and you've got some editing and all sorts of other palaver, and it gets really expensive to start producing content. I went into the studio at the EMA. You can actually just take a video on your phone like I've done in this upcoming little video. I took 5 minutes of video footage of me just talking to camera, and I uploaded that into a platform called HeyGen. Very quickly, it creates a digital avatar of me, including my crazy hand gestures and facial expressions, and clones my voice. And so then I can create, every time I want to create a new video, I just go into HeyGen and change the script.
Hey there. So you probably heard the term generative AI floating
So
around.
this is AI.
Sounds fancy, right? But it's actually pretty simple.
This is just done in my studio. I've just recorded this on the phone as an example.
I'm talking about writing
now,
emails,
I expect that
making art,
many of the people that work in your organizations don't have English as a first language. And so
L'intelligence artificielle générative, c'est comme avoir un assistant super intelligent capable
This is
de
just a
créer
click
des
of a button.
choses. Je parle d'écrire des emails,
I don't know if
de
the
créer
French
de
is
l'art,
actually
de composer de la musique,
right.
voire de coder, le
Expect
tout
it
à
is.
partir de
I did a
zéro.
reverse
Elle ne
translate
se
on it
contente
just
pas de
to
récupérer
check, right?
des informations sur
So
Google.
producing
Elle
content
génère
like
réellement
this
du
at
contenu
scale
basé
is
sur
really
des schémas
cost
qu'elle a
effective
appris à
now.
partir d'une énorme quantité de données.
This is Invoil. Tane Vanderboom started this company 6 or 7 years ago now with Vulcan Steel, and has certainly been rolled out in many different warehousing and different businesses around New Zealand and Australia. It integrates computer vision technology into security cameras to monitor people, the physical spaces, machinery, and people to try and reduce collisions. It's not collecting biometric data or facial recognition or anything like that. You probably want to have some good AI ethics and protocols in your business around this. This is really done from a health and safety training exercise, right? But it's more practical than that. It can actually turn off machinery or ring alarm bells to try and prevent things that happen if people are getting in the way of a forklift or something. That's Tane there. Super useful. This is Brad Craig. He runs a big laundromat in Inglewood with Apparel Master. During COVID, they invested $5 million in some new AI-powered machinery. Now, before they launched that, they had all of their people were from offloading a truck to unloading the garments back on a truck. They were touching each garment 15 times as it was going through, right? Not great for the heart, not great for health and safety, not great for your job satisfaction. The net result of deploying this technology was now their people touch the garment 4 times. They've maintained a 9 to 5 work week, which is pretty remarkable for that industry, and of course increased their throughput. And this is Notebook LM. So I mentioned it earlier. It's a free tool, Google Notebook LM. It gives you the opportunity to create a folder of content. In this case, I've got the long-term plans for Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch City Council, and some building codes of conduct things in there, just as an example. It effectively creates a little chat interface where you can have a conversation and ask questions about the content in that library. It has a really big context window. And what I mean by that is that some AI tools, when you drop a PDF in there, it'll be skim reading it. Whereas tools like Google Gemini and Notebook LM in here have a much bigger context window, so they're actually able to ingest the entire document. The free plan allows you to have 50 sources. I think the paid plan is like 500 sources. It's just ridiculous, right? So you can have a conversation, you can do notes, you can do CEO briefings. If you're going into a strategy session, and I wouldn't be putting any company strategy stuff in here, right? This is your industry, global awareness stuff. But it's a good example. If you wanted to do this with your own company documents and your strengths and weaknesses and your strategy and information about your peoples and skills and capability, we'd do that within your tenancy. We'll lock it down, right? What's cool about this, and this is what I use Notebook all the time for, is you can create a podcast of this content. And you can click the button, and 5 minutes later, there'll be 2 AI voices, bit American, bit cheesy, but pretty cool, discussing the stuff in your folder. You can give it some context if you want them to discuss a particular issue or topic to refine that. It's really great for learning about things, to be able to digest information. Just go and have a play with it. It's totally free. It's really easy. Right. So last year there was a whole bunch of industry research that came out, and the number one thing that was holding companies back from accelerating their AI adoption was a lack of skills. So we've launched the New Zealand AI Academy at learn.newzealand.ai. We want to be doing skills training at scale. We want to be working on learning and development programs, whether that's from just tools or awareness, strategy and governance, to help you get moving faster. And with a bit of knowledge and awareness, we don't have this type of stat occurring over and over again, right? We've had plenty of examples in New Zealand, private and public sector organisations that are kind of ban ChatGPT or limit its use. And all that does is just drive people to be bringing their own personal ChatGPT account to work. People want to be more productive. They want to get more stuff done. It's great for their job satisfaction and productivity. And you've got no visibility over what company or customer information has been shared with those tools, or the IP that's generated with AI working with that content. And so we've got to start thinking about making sure that we're provisioning and providing our people with enterprise-grade tools that bring the AI into our tenancy. And there are plenty of solutions in New Zealand to help you get started. And that's kind of where we can help with. Of course, Microsoft Copilot's not a New Zealand solution, but the rest are. And all offer different ways to work with your data, to build agents and workflow automations in a secure, safe place. The way we work, what we do, and how we do it is changing. And with that is coming a mindset shift that leaders need to take in terms of how their workforce, what their workforce is going to look like, what the shape of their business is going to look like in the future. It is happening at a rapid rate of knots. It is challenging, right? And that's why we want to be part of forums like this and having the conversations with you so that we can facilitate it and help accelerate these discussions in the right way. This is about augmenting people with artificial intelligence. If you're not using AI at work, are you really doing your best job? Question. This is my schnauzer. Let's get on with it. Thank you.